Welcome back, everyone. Now, you remember that our fourth liar tonight said that she was going to make an attempt to bring this show a little closer to normal. Well, that didn't do a lot of good, did it? But if that's what she means, then our next liar probably should be nicknamed Bloomington, because that's as close to normal as Kate Price will ever get. Kate Price.
Thanks. I'm so glad to see you all here. I hope I don't fall off the stage. I am so nervous tonight. That's true. Now, I tell a lot of stories about growing up, and that's just what I'm going to tell you tonight. And so those that don't know me, like this fellow in the pink shirt, I grew up in Nebraska, real rural place called Liberty, Nebraska. And I've had a lot of great adventures, or I made some up. But this is one of those stories that you just can't make up. You just can't make this stuff up. See, in Nebraska in the summer, sometimes it's hot and it's dry, and you get a little bored. I think I'm breathing too hard. At least I'm breathing. Don't stop. Don't stop. Since we get a little bored, the County Farm Bureau sends out this notice. They're going to sponsor a talent show. Just an area talent show. And you can have it in an area you want. And so each township would have their own. And we happened to have a little schoolhouse, one-room schoolhouse. And it was closed for as far as school goes, but the neighbors kind of kept it up. And in the wintertime, the folks would go down there and they'd play cards, and the women, they quilted some days there, and we had 4-H meetings there, and there was an outhouse in the back and a well on the other corner, because you can't have them on the same side of the building. And in the front of it was a flat platform like this, you know, before you go into the building. And so it made a perfect outdoor stage. Oh, kids, they were excited. Talent show. Now, I know what you're thinking, talent show. Piano playing, you know, singing, little dancing, maybe tap dancing back in those days. Well, we had talent as kids, but it wasn't that kind of talent. I wanted, in the worst way, to take my dog Tippy. Some of you laugh, because you remember my good dog Tippy. Them darn Mexicans. Never saw him again. So this is what I did. I took my crow, Blackie. Remember Blackie? He could talk. He could say 3 or 4 letter words. Like, car, car. I know that's only a 1-letter word, or a 1-syllable word, but they were amazed at how many words I had taught Blackie at the talent show. There was other talent, and that's what I really want to share with you. The wonderful talent that came from Pleasant Hill School that night. It was a pleasant Sunday evening, and the kids, they would get up on the platform, and the folks would be sitting in folding chairs like you, because we didn't have them fancy kind of chairs yet. All the neighbors, they come in their overalls, their tobacco cans, they roll back up there. There's a little smoke going on. It was theatrical. And then we had this one, I call them a clan. They were the Hiltons. They had 10 kids. They shouldn't have. 80% of those children were cross-eyed. They were really looking at it. They entered the talent show, they did, and first, 4 of the big ones, they were kind of clunky. They got up there on the little outdoor stage, and they got down on all 4s. And they smiled and they looked at you, but you didn't really know if they were or not. Then the next 3 skipped up on the stage, and they climbed on their backs, and they got on all 4s. And we said, they're going to do a pyramid! This is going to be a gymnastics event. And then the little ones came. There was 3 of them. And 2 of them climbed up on top, so now we have a 3-level pyramid. And then little Margaret came. She was 4 years old. And she climbed and climbed just like she was a little mountain goat. She climbed right up on top, stood up, and put her arms in the air and went, ta-da! Now Robert was on the bottom, and Rabbit. Rabbit, he ended up in the penitentiary, but that's another story. I have to tell you, if Robert had dynamite for brains, he couldn't even blow his nose. Because the people are starting to clap a little bit, and he wants them to clap more. So he takes his hand and goes like this, and which throws the weight off, and the whole darn kit and caboodle fell down in the grass, and hit old Carl Westfeller and knocked him out of his chair. Luckily, we picked everybody back up and put them in their chairs, and then we clapped for the Hiltons. They shouldn't have had so many children. And we weren't clapping for them to have more. After that, the Fullerton boys got up there. They set a 5-gallon bucket over here, and they set a big dish pan of cut watermelon over there. And they sat down on 2 more 5-gallon buckets, and they started eating. We did not think that was talent. Fullerton boys had bad acne and crooked teeth. And after they ate enough watermelon, they started spitting. And they were looking right at you, and every one of those seeds fell right into that 5-gallon bucket on that side of the stage there. It was amazing. People clapped. Then they left the stage. Then Cheryl Beats. She got up. She was a teenager, and she was a real nice girl. And she had the cutest little dog named Chuckles. And he loved chicken livers. And she would hold up a chicken liver, and Chuckles would get up on his hind legs, and he would dance just like a little puppet. Just dance around, and then she'd give him a piece of chicken liver. And then she'd say, "Play dead." And he would just flop down like that, and then he'd shake a little bit like he's having seizures. She'd say, "Roll over, Chuckles." Chuckles would roll over. And then she said, "Laugh, Chuckles." It's the darndest thing I've ever seen of a dog. You know, most dogs go, Chuckles, he goes, tee, 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 tee. I never heard a dog laugh like that. And, you know, it made the other people laugh in the audience, and then the more the audience laughed, the more the dog would laugh, and the more the dog would laugh, the people, it was just hilarious. You can hear it all the way to Blue Springs, I think. That was a good one. Jan Singleton, he came up, but he called the audience to the perimeter. His family milked cows, so every morning and every night, poor Jan Singleton was in the barn milking cows. And it does not fail, but every herd of cows in our township had one that would jump the fence. And they had one, and they named it Jumper. This cow, they could not keep in. But Jan said, "I'm going to work with old Jumper. I'm going to make something of her." And so he got a halter for her, and he got a rope, a lead rope, and he learned to lead that cow all around. And there in the yard of the schoolhouse, he had set up 2 square bales with a third one on top. 2 square bales with a third one on top. So he had a little course. And he walked that cow, limber her up a little bit, you know. And then he started trotting with that cow a little bit, and then they went into a full gallop, and then he'd go jump, and that cow would clear all 3 of those bales. Run, clear the next 3 bales, and run and clear. There, her bag didn't even touch. We had never seen anything like that. But I believe that he milked that cow about an hour before that. Well, everybody applauded. They'd never seen a cow that could do that. Jumper. And then came Kathy Diddle. You can't make this up. Kathy Diddle, and we called her Kate, or we called her Cat. That's what we called her. And she had this sister. I should be more like her. They named her Adisha. I think they misspelled it on the birth certificate. But you never asked Adisha about her name, because the poor girl would look at her toes. And you'd say her name, and she'd look at you. She was so shy. And sometimes you would just say, "How you doing?" And she'd run off and cry. You know people like that. It's so sad. I wonder if she ever found a band. I bet not. Well, Cat Dad's name was Hyde. H-Y-D-E. That must be some kind of old German word. Is that right? I think an old German name, Hyde. But everybody called him Hyde. So, you know, you go down the road and go, Hyde, 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 Hyde. Well, Cat said, I am going to play a musical instrument. And my sister, Adisha, is going to accompany me on the spoons. Now, she really wanted to play a fiddle, but they didn't have a lot of fiddles in our township. They didn't have any fiddles in our township. And so Adisha learned to play an instrument, which I, myself, have been working like a dog for 2 weeks, trying to learn how to play this fine instrument. And you have to see it to believe it, because this is a true story. My assistant, the sound man, is going to help me with this instrument, and they have to play it if I cannot give it to you. Oops.
Which side? Take something simple.
Oh, yeah.
We gotta put this sport up, remember?
Oh, yeah.
Just a moment. I can't get my finger in there.
Can't get mine in there either.
This is so embarrassing. I always practiced with it up.
That's a good way to practice.
This is a very dangerous instrument.
You've never seen something like, never saw something like it.
Yes, please. I have worked like a dog.
I've helped on this dog project. I saw a track where you
Got a different size.
kind of wasted.
Now, hurry, take your time quickly.
All right.
She sang, which I will try to sing for you. The windmill needs oil. The windmill, is it working? Needs oil. Go ahead. It's driving me insane.
Another one.
The windmill needs oil. I'll never be the same. The windmill needs oil. Please fill it to the top. The windmill needs oil. I think I'm going to pop. But you can imagine. You can imagine, as this went on, the audience got really excited and they laughed, and then the dog started to laugh. And the dog started running around in big circles. And the more the dog ran around in big circles, the more it made Jumper the cow nervous. And Jumper the cow broke his leash, or his lead rope, and he headed off back towards Jan Singleton's house. But to get there, he had to jump over the grater ditch. And poor little Margaret had tried to get into the one-hole toilet, but it was occupied. So she was peeing in the grater ditch. And when we all turned around, there was her butt. And the cow was headed right towards her. And then all of a sudden, Jumper saw little Margaret and jumped right over her. And Jan was chasing Jumper, the cow, and then the county extension man and the farm bureau man said, "That's it." We went home. Cat took her sauce, and Adisha ran off of the stage because she was so embarrassed, and she took the spoons. Next day in the paper, Northern State, there was an article. It said, "Pleasant Hill Talent Show." Don't get heavy. Hi, diddle, diddle, the cat and the fiddle. The cow jumped over the moon. The little dog laughed to see such a sport. And Adisha ran away with the spoon.
The truly sad part of that whole thing is that she's proud of that.